Okay, let's talk about this additional indicator that you have access to. Let me go in. It's called Adaptive Trend Cloud, and it's just kind of a unique dual line indicator that you can have it set. A good starting point, let's go into the Adaptive Trend Cloud, would be MA1 11, a displacement of -2. Then the second moving average to create the cloud is a MA1. It's also set to 11 with the displacement of 3. That way you have a -2, a -2 to a +3 gap from the same moving average run twice side by side, creating a cloud with some displacement between them. Now I can widen the displacement, makes the indicator wider, as you can see. We get a really wild cyclical day. I got done pretty early uh, with one strategy, it took a while because it was flipping back and forth. And then when some of the bigger oscillating moves happened, it cleaned up and I got that one done. But just want to get into showing you this indicator. Now, this indicator has two moving averages, an MA1. That's the primary one that I use. If you want to make this less responsive to price or narrow the width, I mean, I could go a displacement of 0 and then down here go like a 7. But I've given you the ability to shift the displacement between the two. And that will greatly affect, I'm sorry, length. I need to make that 11. Displacement of 7. Okay, let me hit apply. You'll see it keeps a nice uniform gap in the cloud. I could go down to a 4 on the cloud gap and so on. Totally up to you. I can alter the moving averages. So if I put 11 there and put like a 19 here, watch what happens to that particular indicator. Let's go to like a 33 on that second part. It changes. It starts to have one indicator different, compared to the other indicator because the speeds are altered. Now, I personally like to run them the same, like this. Actually, that's a little bit on the responsive side. Pretty darn responsive. Let's go to a 15 and a 15. We'll just hit OK. We'll let it load up for a second. And actually, that's a tad lagged. Actually, I thought, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, it's been 11:11 I've been using most time. Let's go a little bit more lag than that. We'll go 12 by 12. I do like negative displacement on the first one, and I'll go 3 in the other one, so I have a gap of 5. From -2 to +3 is a gap of 5, so I have a 5 width. So when we see these big uptrends and I get these little diamonds, those are points. When I see strong uptrends, I might just throw on some liquidity if I'm already in a position. They're like little quick scalps, or same thing in a downtrend. The PPG1 is red. I get lift, rotation down, quick scalp it, lift, rotation down, quick scalp it, so on. So you can use it for that. I just have it attached so when I can see crisp transitional points. You could make it even more responsive. Let me go in here and set it like really responsive. Let's go to like a 7 and a 7 for the length on both of them. Getting some beautiful price movements right now. See, when you go 7 by 7, it'll literally overlay on top of price. It's so responsive. So let's go back into the indicator. When I go really responsive, I'll take my displacement here from 0. I'll move that one to 5. And displacement just means I'm shifting the indicator laterally left and right. And there you go. That's one part of the indicator is on price because it's so responsive. and the other one is away from price. Okay, another thing I could do if I think that's too much on price, here I could go a displacement of 2 and bump this out to a 7 so I still have a width of 5, but I'm shifting the indicator over to the right. And anytime I see crisp angular transition points, that's kind of you're on the edge of you're a little bit too responsive. So let's maybe go to a 9. That's probably about as low. Now, in the end, you can use the tools however you want with all the wondrous setups some of you have been sharing in the Pivot Point Trading Beta group, where we're basically, now that we have the updated version of the strategy that can take a trade immediately out of the open, in addition to signal trades, now we can really start getting dialed in on best time frame to use and settings per instrument. And then a day like today that was super cyclical is actually a gift, because now on lower time frames I can go in and say, hey, optimize my settings so that through a bunch of cyclical oscillations out of the open I can come out alive, so one good move then cleans me up. So I'm loving what happened today. It's going to be it's like a perfect scenario of what to be able to go defeat as your worst case scenario. There's no more worst case scenario than sitting in cyclical range bound, like wild oscillating chop for like 30 minutes. If you can get through that with your settings, all the other stuff pays you nicely. Chichingo. So matter of fact, I ran Momstrat today. I had some really big days this week. On one of my set of TPTs, I was only trading 3 MNQs because I was way up on the week. I just left that thing on, and then this move, and this move, I was up to 800 and change. I did one other little trade just to get up over 900 manually, but I did like, I think 834-ish or 835-ish. So it got buried a little bit in the beginning, and then boom, 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 and I was good. That was on the Momstrat. Pivot point trading on the Renkos, I'm moving up in time frame, seeing how high I can go, to that I'm not getting in too late on the key swings, but holding my own through cyclical opening chop. So I've been testing Ninja Renko in the 80s, the 90s, the hundreds. I think 125 by 25 is about as high as I would ever go. So just playing with different time frames and seeing what the possibilities are. Man, what a sell-off yesterday. Woo! That was a heck of a sell-off yesterday. Yeah, that was a big one. So back to the adaptive trend cloud. Let's mess with this just a bit more. Let's go in and let's use MA2, which is super duper responsive. So I'm on a 9. I'm going to have to go up to about a 33. We'll start there. So very different style of moving average. Actually, let's go MA2 on both. Let's go MA2 and go like 19. We'll start at 19 by 19. And we'll start at 0 for displacement and a 5. We'll hit apply. It's a very different style of moving average. You might like it, so I included it. Let me go up a bit higher. Let's go to like a 23 by 23. I just want to show you that you can mix and match settings all you want with these indicators. Now that one, when I start getting the shift point way away from the pivot, that to me, it's not responsive enough. Just for having something to see pivot points. And then the diamonds, I can move them closer or farther away from the indicators so you can see those better. So 21 by 21. And then this one, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go down real low. I'm going to go 17 by 17. Let me see how that looks real quick. Now I'm going to work with the displacement. I'm going to move this out about a 3 and move this to about a 7. Have a 4, a gap of 4 from 3 to 7. So I'm moving the indicator away from price. That was too much. So we'll go to about a 1 and a 5. See how that looks? So you have lots of flexibility in that indicator. Okay, I'm going to go back to MA1, 11 minus 2, and we'll go back to 11 here, and a 3, and voila. So yeah, lots of flexibility. You can play around with the indicator, and I just use it to see that literally I could take the indicator and make it transparent and only see the diamonds. So if I'm in uptrends and I'm getting diamonds and lift, I could do a little quick scalping on the fly, especially when you get on higher time frames and such. So anyhow, there you have it. And then remember on the PPG1 indicator, you can adjust where the dots are, up, below it, above it. I think on the red, I have it below. I need to move it back above. I need to move the positioning of those. I just realized I have those set. All of this is adjustable in all these indicators. So if I go into the PPG1, I can go down and set the dot above and below. So you can go adjust that however you want. So let's say dot above. Let me go to like a 15 and a 15, just so you can see what the difference is. There we go. Now I have the red dot above and the green dot below. So maybe I want to go 20 by 20 on that one. And all of these things are outputs that can be used with third-party tools. So if you're on Captain Optimus or you're on Bloodhound or Blackbird or any of those type of things, Markers Plus, all that stuff is workable. Okay, now I move the dot a little bit below and a little bit above the PPG. So all of that, and you can change the colors and everything. So anyhow, that is the Pivot Point Beta Group. If you have any questions on it, info@gridalgo.com. I have another wave indicator. I don't have it on the chart for now. Playing around with it, trying to make it a little bit more hybrid. Might utilize that in some capacity going forward, but we'll see. So very wild cyclical open, and then I expected that when I saw that, I'm like, the range is definitely going to expand and we're going to get much bigger oscillations. And boy, do we ever, some nice, beautiful oscillations started to come in here. Okay, if you have any questions on the adaptive trend cloud, it has all kinds of capability, adjustability, and use. So there you have it. If you have any questions, info@gridalgo.com. Have a great day.